Okay, sometimes life sucks, right? When you get in your life making some bad mistakes or failures and, certainly loss in your life, whether you're ending a relationship or through the death of someone that you love. We all go through these times and it's difficult to get through them. But I've learned a few things in my life, and believe me, I've gone through a hell of a lot of loss. I've gone through a hell of a lot of failures in my life, businesses, relationships, everything. And God knows I don't want to make mistakes, but I make them all the time. And these 3 rules that I've got actually help me to get through this process a lot faster. And then if you stick around at the end, I've got a bonus kind of action that really, truly helps things move a lot faster. First rule, number 1, is to remember to know that you will get through it. And on the surface, that seems like a stupid statement because, yeah, okay, I'll get through it, or no, I won't. But you really have to call this out. You really have to remind yourself that I am going to get through this. Because if you're honest with yourself, you can look back on your own life and understand that everything that you've gone through so far, you have gotten through it to the other side. And the way I tend to look at a lot of these things is that many times when I make mistakes and failures and all this stuff, it's just my way kind of to clear out the stuff that I don't need in my life and certainly that doesn't serve me. So I have to go through these difficult times a lot of times to make it through to that other side. And like I say, if you truly look at your life, you'll admit that generally that's what ends up happening. So you just have to make it through, but you do end up making it through to the other side. Rule number 1, know that you will get through this. You're going to overcome it. Okay, now hold on to that one for a second because now we're going to get into the second rule. And the second rule is this: it's allow yourself time. Give yourself time to get through this. Because God knows, especially when you're talking about loss, whether it's through a failed relationship or the loss of a loved one, things take time. And you have to give yourself that time. And again, this kind of sounds like a very, okay, of course, it's going to take time. But the thing is when you're in the middle of the crisis, when you're in the middle of the difficult thing happening, if you remind yourself of this fact that it's going to take a little bit of time, it tends to remove the pressure from you. You tend to hopefully stop the attacks that we make on ourselves saying, well, see, I shouldn't be feeling this. I shouldn't be this weak. I should be able to get through this a lot faster. But this is one rule that I learned somewhat recently, and it has been very powerful for me, is to just relax and understand that I'm going through a difficult time and just allow myself the space and the time to go through this. Like I say, I've been through failed businesses. I've been through all of this stuff. And the more quickly that you can do this for yourself, the more you're going to remove the pressure on yourself to try to make it through. You don't have to make it through in any particular amount of time for any of these things. But if you give yourself the time, the generosity to be able to get through these things, it's going to work a lot better for you. And now on to the third rule. Now the third rule is a tricky rule because it's actually the same as the first rule, which is know that you're going to get through this. Just know that you're going to overcome this. A lot of times, like I say, we don't believe this a lot of times. But the reason why we don't believe that we're going to make it through a particular difficult time is because we get caught up in the actual event itself. And we spiral in there and we get caught in really tight and we're focusing on it as opposed to pulling out of it a little bit, reminding yourself that I will make it through it, and then allowing that to happen. So don't get caught up in the event itself. And I know that's difficult to say. I know it's easy to say, but it's difficult to do. But we've got to remember to do that. We've got to remember to understand and to accept that you will heal. You will get through this. Even if it's a bad day, just sometimes you got to know it's okay. I'm going to make it through this. And if you keep telling yourself that, if you keep focusing on that, you're removing the focus from that particular thing that you're going through. Know that you will get through this. You will overcome it. Give yourself the time to be able to do it. Don't force yourself to go quickly or anything else like that. And surely don't tell yourself that you're weak because you are going through this. Sit back and relax. Understand that this is going to take some time. But yet again, know that you will get through this and you're going to overcome it. And here's the bonus step. So the other thing that I've learned throughout all of this, and it's especially important when the things are big, like a failed business or a huge loss that you've had. The biggest thing that you can do is just take action in a different direction. Keep moving. And again, this kind of gets back to the whole thing of if we sit there constantly thinking about the issue and the problem and the loss and the failure and all of these other things, you're never going to make it through to the other side. You're never going to be able to process all the things. So the quicker you can take an action, even if it's just simply the action of going for a walk, a lot of times that will begin that process of breaking the focus on the difficult thing that you're going through. Bake a cake, go for a walk, I don't know, rearrange your photos or something like that. But the quicker that you take a step in any direction other than into the difficult area, the quicker you get into action, the quicker your focus will be on other things. Keep acting, keep trying to do things. Don't seize up, don't sit there. There will be days where you'll probably need to do that, and God knows we all need that. But as soon as you're able, get up and get moving in some small way. And that's going to be the biggest thing that will help you along the way. So always remember that you're going to get through it, whether it's the biggest failure that you've ever had or a particularly bad day or a huge loss. You will get through it. I promise it. And you know deep inside yourself that you will also, because up until this time, you have done that also. And then give yourself the time to be able to go through whatever it is, a bad day, a bad loss, a complete and utter failure. Give yourself the time to do that. And then remind yourself yet again that you're going to make it through it. And finally, in the end, take an action. Get moving. Do something. Do something, and it will help you relieve the stress of the particular event. It will take time. I definitely understand that. I've been there. I've gone through all of these things. And I'm there with you now if you're going through it right now. But do all of those things. Get into movement a little bit, and I guarantee it's going to be a lot nicer process along the way, and you're going to treat yourself a lot better along the way also. All my best to you. Love you.